Hey, yo, it's your boy. Just kidding. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. Anyway, yes, welcome back to the channel. It is I, StrawHatLucas, and today I wanted to share some quick thoughts I had on One Piece Chapter 1156 and give a bit of a channel update because I have not been seen in about 2 weeks now. But getting to the One Piece stuff first, there's really only two things I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is the introduction beyond her first appearance in the SBS of Amazon Lily's future Empress, the one that went missing, Tritoma, and of course the two devil fruits that Xebec is going after. So with the Tritoma stuff, I have to shout out my homie Kube of the Red Sea. When we first heard of the missing Empress of Amazon Lily, the one we did not know after Shaki and before Boa, he believed that that was going to be Luffy's mother. Now, I am of the camp that Luffy's mom has already been in the story, and it is Dadan, and she will be the only mother we will most likely get for Luffy, but I love a good Luffy's mom theory, and who doesn't? But when we got the character's name Tritoma, I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. Because Tritoma is a type of plant, right? And I had to Google this just to confirm, and I was correct. These are red hot pokers, or more commonly known as torch lilies, or Tritoma. And of course, this fits into the naming conventions of Amazon Lily, with all of the empresses and most of the residents being named. Anyway, something I noticed about this flower is the color scheme, which is red and yellow. And now I'm gonna throw up these two pictures, okay? Now, I'm not saying that the red and yellow color schemes matching with Luffy is not more than a coincidence, but I find it interesting, and I think that once we get Tritoma's official color schemes, if it matches the color schemes of her flower, could be some really good theory crafting potential there, right? And some implications for the story, because while Oda isn't usually that on the nose, my man does like to hide things in plain sight. Yes, very interesting there, but let's get to what I think everybody wants to hear about, and that is the two devil fruits that Rox wants to get. I feel like we'll get this information sooner than later. It feels like we're heading straight towards God Valley right now. I don't know if we'll get it necessarily in this flashback. We may finish up on Elbaf and then get it subsequently just a little bit later, because it does seem to be shifting back to Loki right now. Well, there was that panel at the end of the chapter that was just straight up the Rocks Pirates, but either way, I feel like we will get the information on those two devil fruits sooner than later, but we already kind of have a basic knowledge of one of them, and that is the fruit that was on Elbaf. We know that it was passed down for generations through the royal family, and I'm talking centuries, possibly even from the Void Century. We know that it is extremely powerful, and we know that the user of it can cause Ragnarok, and because of some of the things that Loki has said about himself and his power and his ambitions, which I know all Elbaf giants want to be the sun god, but with how hard Loki believes that he already is the sun god, it makes me think that his fruit has kind of lent some credence to why he would believe that in the first place. Now, as far as what it is, I cannot say definitively, obviously, but I'm not going to give you a nothing burger statement. I'm thinking it's gonna be the Gumu Gumu no Mi. Now, there is a Gum Gum fruit, as confirmed by Oda, and I think that that's more than likely what he has. Just the straight paramecia. Loki is a rubber man, right? And I think that because of what Bonnie knew about Nika, he was stretchy and he had the ability to warp his body and do whatever he wanted to fight anyway, things like that. He's a completely free individual. So to have a fruit that would make Loki, who clearly knows about Nika and the legend of Nika, think that he himself is Nika, it seems pretty obvious that he would have something that would pertain to either Nika's stretchy body or the sun itself. Maybe some kind of sun fruit that is like Baron Tamago style zone, but not a zone type, that he transforms into like a sun. No, jokes aside, I think that something though pertaining to the sun, maybe some kind of fission fruit that plays off the nuclear aspect of the sun and the reactions that take place on the sun, could be very interesting. I'm very leaning towards it being either A paramecia, or B, a Logia. Now, a lot of people are leaning towards Zone because of how many and how prevalent zones have been to the storyline of One Piece, and I think that's a very valid argument as well. The reason I lean towards paramecia is because of my take that it may be the true Gumu Gumu, And the reason I lean towards Logia is because Hyjurden has this little line in Dressrosa where he says, could you imagine a giant with a Logia? And me being just like all of the other wild One Piece fans who latch onto something, the minute I heard that sentence in Dressrosa, I was like, we're going to see a giant with a Logia. So right now I'm just kind of expecting it. I wouldn't mind though if it was a zone either. If it being a zone though is in the realm of possibility, which it 100% is, I think it would be interesting to see Loki having some kind of shape-shifting fruit. I actually found a bunch of animals going through all the color spreads, like legitimately every single color spread, and they all have the same hue of Loki's hair. Now, this is very tinfoily, but I think it would be wild to see some kind of shape-shifting zone that Loki could like transform into any animals. And we did kind of see a menagerie of animals pull up for him in the underworld of Elbaf when Luffy first met him. So yeah, obviously that is one of the fruits that Rox is going for. Now, what is the second, right? So myself and Kube of the Red Sea both share the belief that Rox has the Gura Gura. Now, I never lock a theory concrete in, but I love the possibility of that. And credit to Kube at least one more time, because he has this take that Blackbeard on Marineford calling out to his father, aka Whitebeard, to have mercy on him, wasn't him calling out to Whitebeard, but to the fruit that Whitebeard had. And maybe the Rox pirates that we know, Kaido and Big Mom not having the highest opinion of Whitebeard, comes from him killing Rox and taking his fruit on God Valley. The one flaw I see in that theory, though, that I kind of didn't realize until right now, is that that would mean Whitebeard committed mutiny against his captain, which I don't think Roger would respect, but at the same time would play so heavily into what we saw with Squard and how he reacted to that, telling Sengoku, so you're up to your old tricks, meaning that maybe somebody in the Rox Pirates was the actual downfall of Rox and not Garp the hero or Roger. So Gura is kind of a possibility for me. But I think a more interesting possibility is the Yami Yami. I think a bunch of people will come to this conclusion because of the drive that Blackbeard had to get the fruit in the first place. It is clear that he has some knowledge of his father and his father's plans because he took Hachinosu. His ship is called the Saber of Zebek. I mean, the man definitely knows what the plan is, right? Or some bits of it. And maybe he's piecing it together as he goes. He knows that devil fruits are part of it. Maybe he doesn't know which two exactly, but he knows the Yami is one of them, right? This would fit perfectly with the current storyline as well, because if he thinks that Harold has the fruit that makes one Nika, and then he wants the Yami, that's bringing the light and darkness together, right? Now, what would he do with that? I have no idea, if I'm honest. With all the new information from these past few chapters, I'm still kind of cooking myself, but I wanted to come on here and share my opinion because it is just such a fascinating thing to think about. But yeah, having the Nika fruit and maybe something else, right? Something more, because we all think that the Yami could be kind of the opposite side of the coin to what Luffy's Nika fruit is. They look very, very similar. So I could see that being in the realm of possibilities. But yes, those are the quick thoughts I had on chapter 1156 of One Piece. Now let's move on to the channel update. So guys, the reason I've not been around is because I'm moving right now. As you can see, my backdrop is literally just the straw hat. This will probably be one of the last things I move, honestly, just because I do have some streams before we fully move. But yeah, so it's kind of put a stop on a lot of production stuff, but we are returning soon with more Rambling Addiction. Next week, I'll be dropping a video on Dawn to Dawn, and I've got some episodes queued up for One Piece and Goodnight Pun Pun, which Pun though, if you've read it, you know, and some more stuff coming your guys' way. But I do want to be transparent with you guys. This break was not planned at all. But you know, life happens and I got to move house and it's just a lot with work and everything and packing, to kind of maintain the channel. And I'd rather be honest with you instead of just disappearing on you guys, right? But yes, next week, Rambling Addiction will return. Bear with me through the month of August. Once I get settled in at the new house, we'll be back to weekly. like we've been. Well, I say that, but I took like a week break in between the Hunter x Hunter videos because they were so big and so much to edit. But yes, I appreciate every single one of you. And hey, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, stick around, subscribe. I got a lot of good, spicy anime and manga content coming your way, and switching more to some more Western stuff here soon. So yeah, I've been StrawHatLucas. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on which devil fruits Rox is going for, and on the Tritoma stuff. Do you think she's going to be relevant more to the story? I mean, I think her being missing is kind of very, not suspicious necessarily, but interesting for sure. But more importantly than anything else I've said in this video, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful night.